We started with what you got.
All right.
What's critical shit?
First topic on critical shit. This is for you guys who are just tuning in. Critical shit is shit that's happening right now. We're going to talk about shit happening right now. Right fucking now. I want to start off with my topic because it's going to be a doozy. And my topic that I picked,
You don't hear doozy very often.
it's going to be a doozy,
All right.
is, where'd it go? Yep, there we go. Chicago Mayor Lightfoot says she will only give one-on-one interviews to journalists of color. She will only talk one-on-one interview with another person. And they say person of color, she means black people. Just so we're clear, not Indians, not any other color, just her color.
She came out and said,
He said it.
Look, all right, fine.
This is
obviously
right here on Twitter.
An intense fucking conversation about the tech.
Oh,
No doubt. Intense as fuck. Intense as fuck conversation between two fucking white guys talking about what black people are doing amongst themselves. So I want to make sure if we're going to have this conversation, we need to make sure that what the fuck we're saying is dead the fuck on. And first of all, I'm not entirely sure I'm going to disagree with what she thinks. I want to hear, because I've heard a little bit about it. I've seen the subtitles on some gym TVs about what she's doing, but I want to know. So I'm going to allow
the
you
exact
to inform
right.
me about what was her statement, who did she make it to,
The
and
exact
what exactly
statement.
is she trying
Well,
to
she went on Twitter, and then the exact statement she said was diversity and inclusion is imperative across all institutions, including media. In order to progress, we must change. This is exactly why I'm being intentional about prioritizing media requests from people of color reporters on the occasion of the 2-year anniversary of my inauguration as mayor of this great city. She then went on to say, on Twitter, I ran the breakup status quo that was failing so many. This isn't just in City Hall. It's a shame in 2021, the City Hall press corps is overwhelmingly white in a city where more than half of the city identifies as Black, Latino, AAPI, or Native American. So the problem that I have with it is...
Well, can I say one thing before you get going?
Okay.
It sounds to me like she said prioritize, not solely confer with. So if I'm not mistaken in the way that she worded it, she said she's going to prioritize her interviews with people of color. Is that, did I mishear what she said? Because it didn't sound like she's excluding white people. It sounds to me like she's prioritizing. When somebody approaches her for an interview, she's going to prioritize. And I think that's an important word to talk about, because the way it's been presented to me was she eliminated having interviews with white people altogether. That's what I've heard up.
Right, and that's what the press is doing. That's what the press is putting here.
But what did she actually say?
Let's see here. It's well, that was her quote. I read a quote from her.
And she said, your quote said
And it did say
prioritize.
prioritize.
That
Doesn't say that she won't.
That
Well,
changes the whole
that
story.
was but that prioritize is about requests. She's going to prioritize requests, but then she said she would only give one-on-one interviews.
She says that. We have a quote from her where she says, "I will."
I will pull it up.
It's important.
Yeah, it is
Do you not
important.
agree that if we're gonna be free as fuck, then we got to be honest as fuck. We need to be true to what we're saying. So if we're gonna, obviously there's a lot of people out there that are mad about her saying this, and they're claiming that it's reverse discrimination. And I want to make sure before we even
in her tweets and in a letter to City Hall reporters, Lightfoot said she would be exclusively providing one-on-one interviews with journalists of color. That's what she said.
That's what they're saying she said, or that's what
Nope, that's
said?
on her.
She said,
on her.
I will be. Where does it say?
Well, that was her quote up there. Exclusively providing one-on-one interviews with journalists of color. I've been struck since my first day on the campaign trail back in 2018 by the overwhelming whiteness and maleness of Chicago media outlets, editorial boards, and political press corps in City Hall. That's what she wrote. There's probably another quote in there for her, but so she's just mad because she's mad at people who, look, maybe they don't apply for the job. I don't know, but it's kind of, maybe they don't. Maybe she's just. All I'm saying is, I'm if I'm frustrated because I get frustrated when I see this stuff because it is a one directional path. There is no other way. There's nobody else that can go on there and say that for almost any other race and it'd be okay. Shouldn't be okay for her. You can think it all the fuck you want, but you cannot say it.
Fair for you to feel that. Whenever I see these, a lot of it, and I always try to put myself in the position of the person that's making the statement. Because I feel like that's the only way you can truly, and I look at the history of this country, and I look at the treatment and the mentality that's directed towards people of color. And I've had enough candid conversations with people over the years that feel like when I'm in the room, they are free to express whatever level of dislike they have for people of color because I'm a safe audience to receive that information. And I've received it a lot. And I'm not talking about one-on-ones. I'm talking about groups. I was in fraternity. I've been in workforces that were almost exclusively white. I've been around people that you would be stunned that when they feel they're having a safe conversation where nobody else is going to hear what they're saying and their words will not be exposed, what they will say, it's shocking. And I will say that if I was and I've said this to you, if I was a black person, how would that make me feel? What would I do to rectify it? I think of if I was a black person with a black child and the way that the world would affect my black child, because I think of everything now in terms of my son. Everything in the world I think of in terms of my son. What would I do to protect my son from harm? If I was a black parent and I had a black child and I had experienced what I've experienced as a black parent growing up in America, and I can't, no differently than we can't imagine what it's like to experience what war is like, we can't possibly expect to experience what being black is like. We can't know that. We can see it, we can think it, but we can't know it. But I do know what it's like to be a parent. And I can assure you that if my child was at issue and it came down to what was I going to do to make the world better for my child, if I felt like in the moment that I was in, that the words of these people that are covering me don't express what I'm actually thinking or feeling because they don't have any concept of my perspective on life. That maybe for the moment, I want to be around people that are going to be able to, and she's also honoring the constituents that put her where she is. Man, I'm not from Chicago, and I've been to Chicago. I would never live there. I would never fucking live in Chicago.
That's fair. I'm actually from Chicago.
Is that right?
And my family's from Chicago.
I've been there like 2 or 3 times, and I was always happy to head on my merry way.
That's fair.
And there's some nice places to visit there.
Look, we just don't talk about. I felt for the last few years that people don't talk about Chicago like they should, because Chicago is a fucking war zone. I mean, the amount of absolute violence and death,
no doubt,
every single weekend is unbelievable.
Unbelievable.
And we just sort of like, what? Tim Kardashian. We talk about other shit.
If I'm wrong, tell me I'm wrong, but I would equate it to Detroit.
Oh, it's way worse than Detroit.
You think it's worse?
Oh, by far.
I always thought Detroit was one of the most violent cities in America.
There's nobody left in Detroit. People left Detroit, a fucking shitbox, and moved the fuck away. In Chicago, they just stay there and fight to the death all the time, and people die. I mean, there's places south of Chicago you just
How
don't,
many people
you
die
couldn't
every
go.
day in Chicago?
Oh man, I'll fucking Google
From
that.
gun violence.
Oh, I'll fucking
I'd like to
Google
know.
that shit. Let's look it up.
Again, I only like to speak from points of fact. So what I can say is, obviously, if that's the case, where there's that level of violence in Chicago,
Bad.
and you're the mayor of that city, you're in a tough spot. Is it fair to say that she's in a difficult? She's got a tough job.
It's fair to say that, yeah. I mean, to try to fix it, it's tough. Right here is the stat. So far, 227 people have been killed in 2021.
We're
So far.
in month 5.
It's 36 more than in 2020.
All right, so fair enough, but we're in month 5, 227 already. You divide that by 5, you're talking about 40. You're talking about more than a person a day.
199 shot so far.
It's a violent place.
It's an extremely violent place over nothing at all, honestly.
Well,
Most of the time, it's gang stuff.
sure.
It's ridiculous the amount of sheer
So is it gang
violence.
I mean, I don't even know. Is it gangs killing other gang members, or is it innocent people being
A lot of
murdered?
innocent people get
Collateral
yeah.
damage
There's a lot of
of
collateral
gun wars?
damage. There's a lot of innocent people that get shot. There's a lot of like muggings and just overall crime against just people that aren't really involved in it. I'm trying to see if they have a another one there, but
So-
it's high as I mean, there'll be
Okay.
weekends there'll be
So-
15, 20 people
So
shot dead in
do
Chicago.
we just believe that Chicago is so bad that it can't be fixed? There's nothing that can be done about the violence in Chicago.
No, there's something to be done. They just
Are there
nobody
solutions?
has an answer. So what they attribute to when it comes to violence is that it's just poor areas. It's a product of the neighborhood in which they grow up in. And even like I said, that Tim Pool article, Tim Pool grew up in Philadelphia, and he even went and back to places where he grew up. It was like, well, you couldn't cross this street. If you crossed over on the other side of this road, you're in trouble. Not in trouble from your parents. You're in trouble from the people who live over there. You just don't go over there. Bad things happen if you go over there. And that's the same as Chicago. It's so many territories, and it's such run by gangs and cliques of people, and it's been doing it for decades. Right there, look, this was a little bit older from last year, but 3,800 people shot in Chicago through the end of November. That's a lot of people, man. 3,800 people in one. That's not Illinois.
No, I got you.
Chicago.
I got you. So, but what are they? And just whenever I hear that, I'm thinking, okay, well, let me ask you this question: what are they being shot with?
Guns. I mean, right here it says officers
What
recovered
are
more than
they
10,000
being
illegal
shot
guns.
with? They're being shot with guns.
Yeah, bullets.
So we not only have a problem with the violence, we have a problem with too many people have pretty easy access. I'm going to assume that if these people are shooting 3,800 people, they're not out hunting.
No, they're not out.
They're
hunting.
not buying a gun at Walmart to go hunting.
No.
They're acquiring, and I would guess that they're illegally acquiring their firearms somehow.
Well, yeah, because
They're
criminals
not
don't.
going through the proper process. They're not doing any kind of waiting period.
Man, criminals don't give a shit
Right.
about laws.
Right. They don't care about
They,
the
we
law.
do not. There is no law. There is no such thing as an illegal gun to a criminal.
Okay, well, so, and look, again, look, if we're not trying to solve a problem,
Right.
and we're just sitting here bitching about a problem, then what the fuck are we doing?
Very
So,
true.
so if we're going to solve a problem, let's take a look. What is the actual problem then? Why are these guys or girls? I'm sure it's mostly guys. I'm going to guess it's mostly guys blowing people. Why are they killing people? What is compelling the person to acquire a gun? Because I'm a guy. I live in America. I've got as much testosterone in me as any fucking other guy out there, guaranteed. I've been a boxer. I've been a football player. I've been an athlete. I love women. I got as much testosterone pumping through my fucking body as any male that exists. I have never in my life owned a gun. I have never in my life even desired to own a gun. I've lived in every fucking city there is. I've lived all over America. Never once. And I walked the streets of all of them. Crossed them. Never thought twice about it. I ain't no fucking badass. I'm 5'9", 170 pounds. Ain't nothing badass about me. I'm white as fuck. Hell as the day is long. I belong to no gang. I've been arrested 9 million fucking times. Been in and out of jail my whole fucking life. I've been everywhere. Never once has it crossed my mind to buy a gun, own a gun, need a gun, want a gun.
Yeah, we'll never understand that.
Why are these guys desiring to own a fucking gun? How come it's so easy for them to get one? Why aren't we doing something to make it more difficult? Why aren't we creating an environment as a country, not as a government? I ain't looking for the government. Government ain't going to solve the fucking problem. Her deciding to do interviews with people, who gives a fuck? Honestly, in my opinion, she wants to do interviews with people. I don't give a fuck who she wants to do interviews with people. If you're solving a fucking problem, then great. If you think that solves something, then great. People elected you. If you want to fucking do interviews, whatever the fuck. Do your interviews with who the fuck you want. I don't care. But talk about fucking solutions. People are being murdered in your fucking city. People are being shot every day with guns. Obviously, if 2 are dying, probably 10 are getting shot. What are you doing to solve that fucking problem? When you're sitting down to an interview with a person of color, what the fuck are you telling them about what you're going to do to solve the fucking problem? Solve the fucking problem. You've been elected. You're in charge. People went to the fucking ballot box, risked their lives, obviously, crossed the fucking street where they could have gotten shot and fucking murdered just for vote for you.
It's fair.
So fucking go do your job. Interview whoever the fuck you want. Tell your story to whoever you want to be interviewed by, whoever the fuck you want to be interviewed. Tell your story to whoever. I don't give a fuck. I don't care. That doesn't matter to me. To me, that's all bullshit floating in the fucking air. Solve the problems of the people in your city so that they aren't being fucking shot all over the goddamn fucking place. And then no one's going to give a fuck who you're talking to in your interviews. So that's the issue. And I'd like to hear a solution for that. Is there one?
No, there's no solution for it. No one has been able to solve the crime problem in Chicago. And it's fascinating and it's sad and it's frustrating to look at it and go, all right, well, what do you do? What is the reason? Like you said, why I'm the same as you. I've never had the desire to own a gun. My desire, my lack of desire has nothing to do with anything other than the fact that I don't want to have to pay to go to a range to shoot it at a target. Like if I could just shoot it outside safely and just shoot shit in my backyard, that'd be awesome. But I don't want to go somewhere to fucking shoot a gun. It's expensive.
I had friends in Texas when I was in the Army. I had friends in Texas. They had fucking guns.
And I just don't care. I don't care.
Guns.
You know what I did? You know what I did?
It made me want to buy one.
What's funny is I went and bought airsoft guns for me and the kids because there's an airsoft arena in town that we go shoot them up. And I was like, you know what? These are guns that I can get behind because I can use them and I can fucking shoot people. I won't get in trouble. And it's fun. It's fun to shoot people.
Is it airsoft?
It's like it's little plastic. It's like a little plastic pellet. It goes about 400 feet per second. It stings. It's like a little bee sting when you get hit with it. But they take it serious, man. I mean, they fucking you gear up. Like you got legit guns.
We get shot with light.
Shit, no, man. You feel this motherfucker. You leave little bumps on you. But it's fun. There's kids over there and adults. I mean, a lot of people play it, and the guns are. I got a bunch of them. They're all. I mean, they're fucking spec to real life weapons. But I like them because I can go use them. I don't buy a regular gun because I don't need to use it.
Back to.
But the solve the problem. I don't know how you solve that problem. I don't know. You got to just.
Here's what I say when you say how you solve the problem.
Okay, well here, how about this?
We got a city like Chicago.
Okay, I got you.
Is there a city in America that doesn't have that problem?
There's a lot of cities that don't have that problem.
Okay, then.
Tons of them.
So what are they doing differently than Chicago?
People aren't assholes. It has to come down to people just being nice to one another. It has to.
Yes, I know, but goddamn, people, man, look, this is what I know about people from being around fucking people. People can be nice, people can be assholes. The same person can be nice to one person and be an asshole to somebody else.
True.
And so that's not a solution. That's an observation of human behavior. To me, if there are cities where these murders are taking place, and there are cities where these murders are not taking place, which I find hard to believe that there's cities in America where murders are not taking place. Maybe there are, but I'd be surprised. Maybe if there are cities where there are not murders taking place, there aren't nearly as many fucking people around as there are in Chicago. So I would say, are there cities the size of Chicago where murders are not taking place? And I would say, I doubt it. Because I know Chicago's, it's a third large, it's LA or New York, LA, basically the same size. Chicago's the third
It's pretty good size.
city in America. The
Trying to see
biggest
some
one in the
stats
middle
here.
of the country, from what I understand. So you got a lot of murders going on.
Yeah.
What can we do instead of worrying about who the mayor's talking to? Which I get it. Maybe she's making things worse. The voters will decide. If the voters aren't happy with whatever she comes up with to do,
That's fair.
they'll be like, you know what? We don't want you to be mayor anymore.
I just feel like the way that it was put out there in the racial climate that we're in doesn't help anything. It just hurts the racial climate. That's all I feel.
enough.
You know, it's
Maybe
as far
it
as that
does.
goes. You can talk. Listen,
it does.
if only you gave interviews to people of color, we would probably never honestly notice. If you gave 2 interviews, one-on-one, and everything else was in a press setting, nobody would point that out. I could pretty much guarantee no one would.
Which is why to me, and again, look, I'm not.
There's not
I
a
understand
single.
why we're talking about it, because I guarantee it's on the news. I guarantee you, if she made that statement and she put it out there, there's
on the
news
news.
covering it. It's in the paper. It's
Yeah.
on TV. People are discussing it. It's in whatever
I mean,
article you do.
we could easily say there's no people of color on late night TV. There's not a single late night TV host that is a person of color, and I don't count Trevor Noah.
I don't
So,
watch TV, so
well, there was Jay Leno. There was the guy before Jay Leno. There's the guy after Jay Leno. There's all the other. Those are all white dudes, you know. And then you've got very few people in that industry. But what I'm saying is, it doesn't matter. You don't have to make an announcement saying that I'm going to exclusively do it, because I feel like that in this climate is just a bad move.
And
It's
my-
a
my
divisive move.
Well, and my thing is, and my thought always when these things come up is trace what the action, is that really a problem? When I used to work construction, we had this guy on the job, man. He used to bitch about everything. This motherfucker used to cry about everything all day long. And when I first started working there and I was young, I would argue with him over these stupid fucking issues every time something came up. And finally, one day, this dude that was a little bit older came up to me and he's like, look, man, do you really give a shit what size wood he uses for that fucking job? And I was like, not really, but he's such a dick. And he's like, I know he's such a dick, but if it doesn't affect you and you don't really care, why the fuck do you spend all day arguing with him about stupid shit you don't even fucking care about? Find out what you actually care about, what actually matters, and focus on those things. And I've tried to take that advice into all the different areas of my life, because it really did make a difference. I started getting along with the dude after that. I stopped arguing with him. He would bring up something stupid, and I would ask myself mentally, I'll be like, does this matter to me? Whether he does this way, or uses this or uses that? And I'm like, no, it doesn't. And I applied it to other areas of my life, including this one. She's made this statement. She's going to only talk to these type of people. Does it affect me? Do I care? Is it going to impact the world? Not really.
Right.
Who she talks to isn't going to fucking matter if what she says is effective. If she says things to these people that she's now being interviewed by that is going to eradicate the problems of violence in Chicago, and that's the solution, talking to people of color, fucking go ahead. Talk to people of color. I don't care. Solve the problem. I want us as a show, and I want us as Americans to start thinking about solutions instead of creating more problems. And I feel like that, to me, I get it. It raises it, just like the dude used to make me mad with the shit he wanted to do. It would make me mad. I would be like, why? That's so dumb. But it didn't really affect me.
Right.
You know, who she talks to doesn't really affect. I'm not a journalist. This is what I do know about journalists. They're all annoying as fuck. Maybe there are a lot of white guys, and I'm often embarrassed by the behavior of other white guys. I see other white guys doing shit, and I'm like, man, dude, you're making me look bad.
Right. No, that's fair.
You know, give her a chance to talk to a few of these people of color. Maybe if she does, maybe that'll help the problem. I don't know. I believe that if there's cities that have a lower murder rate, that there's got to be a solution to the higher murder rate in that city. She is the mayor. It is her job to solve that problem. If you've now decided to speak to people of color exclusively, you goddamn better have some fucking interviews that come up with a fucking solution. Because then, to me, you have a problem. And the people who will decide, the people that vote for you, are going to look at it and be like, all right, man, you want to talk to those people of color, talk to them. Solve the problems that we have in the city.
Right.
And fix them.
No, that makes sense. That makes sense.
You know, that's always my take.
Solve the problem. Don't create another problem. Just solve the problem you got.
Solve the problem.
Don't care who you
That's what
talk
we're
to.
here do.
Because at the end of the day, it doesn't affect me or you at all.
Right. Right. Who she talks to now? If one of the dudes that she's not talking to gets mad, I would love to listen to him get mad.
There you go.
To me, there is nothing funny.
That's the one guy who has a solution to her problem.
Well, maybe. I doubt it. She's been talking to him all this time.
Yeah, you're right.
He's had his chance to give his input. He ain't been able to do it. So, you know, I'm just saying, man, we've talked about this ourselves. Why are these old motherfuckers the only motherfuckers we have to choose from?
Why?
Do we really think that an 80-year-old motherfucker is going to be able to solve a problem that's going on in the world right now? If there was an 80-year-old motherfucker in this house right now, and there was a problem in the house, and we had a problem in this building, and there's an 80-year-old dude, is that who we would go to?
Dude, I asked that question. I ask that question all the time. Like, is there anything you want your fucking old granddad doing at all?
And what makes you think Biden's any different, or Trump for that matter? And I know there are people out there that love Trump.
I know.
What
But they're too old.
What in the world
too
makes
old.
you think these motherfuckers can solve a problem? They can't. They can't.
No, we need a new brain.